Hi everyone, Headthony Prestano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new Trico album, Jodeki. This is the 6th full-length LP of Kyoto rock outfit Trico, continuing a prolific streak they have been on as of late, dropping 2 albums in 2020. This new one came out just in December of last year. But yeah, what was so good about those 2 records the band dropped in 2020 is it saw their smooth and melodic brand of math rock getting a bit more colorful and varied.
Melodic math rock?
Yes. Why? What is it?
2 + 2 = 4.
Yes, this is the first time I am reviewing a Trico album, but that is not because I'm just hearing of them. I have been aware of their music for a minute now. Kind of hard to ignore them when they were easily one of the most consistent and persistent rock bands on the Japanese scene through the 2010s. Now, every album cycle Trico has come through with has usually resulted in at least a few songs or singles that I thought were quite good, but every time ended up disheartened playing the long game with the entire record, because when it comes to math rock, I think the group's skilled grooves and power pop appeal make them a breath of fresh air in the genre, but historically I don't think their track lists showcase a whole lot of versatility or all that dynamic, as their recordings tend to run kind of dry and claustrophobic. Obviously everything is displayed in such a plain way in order to capture every virtuous, noodly musical detail, and the band is clearly full of great players, and nearly every performance on their records is tight and killer. And like I said, the band's last couple of LPs have seen them experimenting more with different influences and sounds and effects. The result is not a night and day change, but it's enough to notice a shift, especially on Jodeki here. On top of that, I think this record showcases their most infectious set of riffs and songs yet too. From the sweet groovy intro track Talk, which features these hypnotizing guitar and vocal harmony layers, eventually giving way to some very smooth grooves and one of the most endearing and angular ballads the band has ever written. The heat quickly turns up though in the track list with the song Bakuro, with its punky guitar chords and octave jumping chorus vocals. The song is rowdy and sharply anthemic. The guitar solo passages kick ass too. Meanwhile, the song INAI is one of the band's most psychedelic and aggressive tracks. The trippy jazz fusion breakdown at the midpoint of the song is hypnotizing and heavenly. Meanwhile, the main riffs of the track crunch and burn like light bulbs and forest fires. Plus, the way the hook vocals sit on top of them too, it brings some order to the madness. The song Tissue brings even more reverb-drenched guitars into the mix, but with mixed results. I think ultimately they end up leaving the song feeling one note, as there's never a point where they let up all that much. Plus, the overly aggressive drums leave even the more low-key spots of the track feeling unnecessarily tense. There's something a bit off about the song Kayoko as well. The fast-flowing lead vocals seem kind of at odds with the dueling channels of slick math rock riffs and what sounds like a guitar wah and also a tremolo on top of each other, just buzzing away with no regard at all for the groove. I much prefer the kind of tense and post-punky song Walking. There's something really raw about the performance and the very loud vocal mix on this track. It sounds more like a studio session than it does like a track from a properly groomed record, which I don't think is entirely a bad thing. It sort of makes the track sound like an unearthed gem from the 90s that we're just finding out about now, especially with its subtle dance beats and synths and classic rowdy noise rock riffs. The single Dogs and Ducks kicks off with one of the most off-kilter rhythms on the entire LP. Plus, the track features all of these very odd vocalizations. Wow, 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 ha, ha. It sounds much better than what I'm doing right here, but these riffs and the grooves and this very absurd vocal style kind of makes the track sound like a dead ringer for a Deerhoof song. Still pretty fun though. Then, in my humble opinion, the song Super Summer may just be the most fun and catchy Trico song ever. The shrill riffs, the flawlessly tight drums, and aggressive rhythm guitars just hitting that upbeat so hard I feel like I'm listening to hyper math ska. The group chants on the hook are fantastic too. Super Summer! The blissful bridge too, just incredible from front to back. From here, the last leg of the record is relatively strong too. Its sumo very much continues the burn and momentum of the track list so far, like another log on the fire. Then Night Monster is probably the band's most stripped back, subtle, spotlit, and simple ballad to date. Gradual progression, passionate lead vocals, very tried and true chord progression. Think of it as the band's Creep. I'm also loving the cheeky closing track, which I'm guessing is in tribute to this beautiful and amazing dog on the front cover, as you hear, this dog persistently barking on the intro and outro of the track. The dog seems to be dressed as Jodeki, and there's reference to the excellent banner that the dog is wearing on the cover as well. But yeah, it's a fun, playful little rock track with some mathy nuances here and there. Great playing, and all around it's just a very light-hearted way to end this record. A very colorful and I think very fun album from Trico. Yeah, it does have its lulls and a few tracks here and there that I think are okay or slightly miss compositionally, but all around I like this one quite a bit. I hope you do as well and check it out. And if you haven't heard of this band before, please go into their back catalog because there's a lot of good stuff in there. So yeah, I'm feeling a decent 2-strong 7 on this one. Transition, have you given this record a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What do you think I should review next? Hit the like if you like, please subscribe, and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well over here next to my head. It's another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Trico, forever.